Hey guys, I'm going to be explaining the TikTok ban from a political point of view. So I have my laptop in front of me, so I can show you my resources that I've been using to kind of cross check information and make sure everything that I'm saying is correct. So I want to start off by like kind of fact checking some of the stuff that's going around because obviously we're teenagers and we're seeing this and we're usually going to be pretty mentally vulnerable and believe like whatever we find. So, yes, Trump did want to ban TikTok when he was last in presidency, and he wanted to do so by executive order. And just to clear things up, executive order is whenever the president or like the executive branch of the government just pushes everything, um, having it through the force of the law. So the Democrats ended up finding bipartisan support recently, and they signed it into law. So a big thing because everybody's like, wait, like why are all the Democrats all of a sudden being like, yeah, like let's ban TikTok. The biggest thing that probably pushed the TikTok ban, especially from like the Democrat Party point of view, um, and really just finish it out would be the insane influence of the pro-Israeli like lobby on TikTok. Just they didn't appreciate the amount of people who were talking about Palestine, and a few months ago, Democrats had arrested. Let me pull up the article. Democrats had arrested 3,500 college students at protests. There's This is NBC News. Okay, so that's an ad of a woman running. But a few months ago, obviously, like a lot of teens and college students became really involved in um, all of the issues happening in the Middle East and very aware. So this was something that kind of pushed things over the edge. So I want to point out America is like this amazing free country, and I'm stating it from the Constitution, not my point of view. This is not opinionated. I'm going to be just kind of explaining things, not enforcing my opinion. So Americans really like only have treats. Like TikTok is a treat. And so like if you take them away, they're gonna lose their minds. Because other than that, like everybody's pretty chill when something's going on like in the world. They're just like, yeah, like as long as I'm living fine and all of that. Because I have everything that I need to be a productive human being. I'm not gonna think about other people. So that's kind of the average American mindset, and I think everybody can concur. So, to be more clear on the TikTok side of things, 170 million people used it. And one of the big things that I've noticed is that, so I think we're pretty aware of our current state of an economy and how it's been like since the 2000s. We had that big like market collapse. I think it was right before Obama's presidency. I don't know. I'm not sure. I know it was like 2005 to like 2012. Social media has obviously been a really big profitable market for influencers and even like small businesses. And there was over 7 million small businesses like thriving on TikTok. It was far from the dancers from COVID like Charlie D'Amelio. It was like we have people who have small businesses and they're like I am a chronic online shopper, and like I'll be scrolling through Instagram and I get a lot of book stuff and I'll see like blind date with the book and they send you like stickers, tea packets. I click on the link and I order it because I will be supporting a small business. And like for that example, like they're making money through social media and that is how they're getting their market. And so by taking TikTok away, you're also taking away this profit for a lot of businesses. Social media is basically one of the only like viable and trusting economies in the world at this point. And also, if Trump agreed with the ban, he would have pushed it, you know? The way that the Democrats wrote the ban, it was where you're either going to divest it or you're going to ban it. So it's just this really like 50-50, and it's like, what do you do? Um, they were going to punish not TikTok directly, but people who were kind of supporting it, quote unquote, from the sidelines, like the Apple Store or the Google Store for Android apps. Like that's why you're not finding it in the App Store, because they were going to find them and make them get in trouble because they're simply putting something out there. The actual bill had a 5-year legislation included in it. And so it was going to be $5,000 fine to people who were using it. And at that point, if you have 170 million people using that app and you're fining them for using it, at that point, if you're fining $5,000 to each person who's using it and you have over 170 million people using it, you're going to have over 800 billion coming in, like, for you, just straight up profit. And I think that's whack. That is so whack. Like, who's going to let the government do that? Y'all, put them in line. Put them in line. Treats like TikTok are one of the only things that's like holding our social fabric together. Because of this TikTok ban, Americans are now like realizing then this treat is taken away. Like they're like actually understanding real world problems that are affecting everybody. Like, how am I supposed to balance rent in this economy and pay for groceries and healthcare? I just think it's kind of crazy. Um, and it's like now that you're having TikTok taken away, you're like, oh, look at all these potholes in the road. Like, look at how I can't afford anything. So, this is me just digressing the two political parties. It is not me being like, oh, I'm a conservative. Oh, I'm a Democrat. Like, this is not what I'm saying. I'm saying what I'm trying to get at is the difference between the two parties and how they're behaving recently. And I'm saying, like, stereotyping the parties, you know? So, recently, liberals have had the tendency to, like, look at something, and when a politician just responds in a positive response, obviously like an opposing politician, they're going to automatically just decide against it no matter what like they were kind of going for. And I'm not saying Trump is a good guy, just so you know. Like, we have ice raids happening in Chicago tomorrow on Tuesday. But one of the biggest things is the Democrats gave Donald Trump the opportunity to like present himself as a savior of the super popular app, because the way that they had made that bill, like, it was just really bad politics. Really bad politics. Like, I'm not going to support the parties individually, but I'm just saying I want each party to have a fair chance. And I think that the Democrats kind of set themselves up on that one. And that makes me sad. Trump realized also, like, part of the reason why Trump all of a sudden switched and was like, wait, TikTok's good, is because, so I think it's like usually 30% of the youth don't like vote red. I don't know. I'd read an article about it. But this year on this previous election, like a good amount of like our youth voters voted for Trump. And so I like there was a press conference that Trump had. I think it was right after he won the election. But he was talking, he was like, yeah, like Barron said that there's all these people, like these influencers like Joe Rogan and Charlie Kirk, and Joe Rogan and Charlie Kirk now have a direct influence to Trump, because Trump has realized, like, when you are constantly reposting memes of Charlie Kirk and making fun of him, you're publicizing Charlie Kirk, and people are going to be like, I wonder who this guy is. And by getting that recognition like that he's getting, because getting recognition through hate is still the same as getting recognition. I just think it's wild. But Charlie Kirk and Joe Rogan have direct access to Trump, and they are now able, because of their popularity on TikTok. TikTok has really helped Trump. I hope that helped you understand a little bit more what's going on there. Also, I do not have TikTok. I just know a lot about it. I can sympathize that TikTok is getting taken away. I understand what it's like to get something taken away. Trust. I have strict parents. Get grounded all the time. Don't worry. I get it.